let's get some days of our quarterback lives, Jack.
Yes.
Days of our quarterback lives, and we'll take the overreaction or underreaction of your favorite team. One of the great things about football these days is all the advanced algorithms and analytics that are out there. Some people say it makes their head spin, but I love it because you can watch a game and get a feel for who played well, who played bad, and then they grade it, and you can see clearly who played really good and who played really bad. And do you know who the highest graded quarterback was, according to Pro Football Focus and the algorithms in Week 1? Highest graded quarterback. You would immediately say Josh Allen.
No, I would say Daniel Jones.
No.
Justin Herbert.
No.
Dang. Danny Dimes had a hell of a game against those bad Dolphins.
Indiana
That's all I'm saying.
Jones.
He was really good in some regards, but he was graded 17th.
Okay.
17th in the total grade. And this is grades, on catchable throws, may go across the board. I mean, how you impacted the game. And the number one graded quarterback was Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Which is, and I said this yesterday, they scored 2 touchdowns. They scored 14 points. You would have said Josh Allen. And again, the grade is not everything. But this is throw everything that was done into the, it also includes mistakes made or missed throws.
Sure. Yeah.
It all adds up. Who had the highest grade? Matthew Stafford. And I said this as a Texans fan watching that game. And what I said, that son of a gun. I mean, he made Hall of Fame throws against a very good defense over and over again. He didn't make a lot of them. And Houston had him blanketed pretty good. But that guy is so good. And if he stays healthy, they play Tennessee this weekend. This Sunday, the Rams are definitely a contender. His back is their question.
Right.
He's really good, and Puka Nacua is really good.
Boy.
But he was the highest graded quarterback. You know who number 2 was?
Oh, man.
Dak Prescott.
Okay. Your Dak had a good game.
Dak Prescott.
It's not his fault CeeDee Lamb was dropping balls.
That's right. And we said that coming in on Friday. He was great. It's as good as you've seen Dak look. The slim down Dak, making plays, making reads.
He looked confident, too.
And number 3 on the grade was Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I was going to say Jalen Hurts got to be on this list, right? He didn't make many mistakes.
Go back to Thursday. That was the best quarterback game.
Yeah.
And it was that good. That's what we all saw. And then, of course, I hated the weather delay. I don't think either team was the same, especially up front after they sat out for an hour plus. Everybody was hungry. Everybody got tight. And it just wasn't the same game. And I think a classic, which still was a good finish. But for Cowboys fans, CeeDee Lamb dropping balls was the story. But Dak played great. He had, by the way, Matt Stafford, 92.9 overall grade. Dak Prescott had a 90. Jalen Hurts had an 88.6. Josh Allen, epic, 87. Really good. Justin Herbert, who Jack mentioned,
had a great game
on Friday night, had an 84. But again, of the top 10 players and quarterbacks graded, 4 of their teams lost. Dak Prescott lost.
Right.
Sam Darnold played a top 10 graded game for the Seattle Seahawks, but they only scored 13 points, and they lost to the 49ers. Also, Justin Fields, 9th. Played great,
he had a great game.
And lost. But you realize this? Because as I say, of the top 4, and we'll do this each Tuesday, because quarterback performance typically leads to victory or loss, but it also reveals that your quarterback can play really good and you lose games. That just can happen.
Yeah.
Especially if the other quarterback outperforms you. But in the case of Justin Fields, he graded out 9th with an 82.2 overall grade. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers graded 26th with a 54.5. And again, if you did watch the game, he made 4 touchdown throws, but he also made a lot of bad plays. He took sacks. The
O-line didn't hold up great for him.
The O-line didn't play great. And that's where if you don't watch the game and you just see SportsCenter highlights and him throwing 4 touchdowns, you're like, oh, man, Aaron Rodgers was great.
They scored 30-plus points and won, right.
Well, Aaron Rodgers was 26th on the grading. Aaron Rodgers was down there with the 4 worst quarterbacks of the weekend, Tua, Jared Goff, and Bo Nix, and Russell Wilson. Those were the worst quarterbacks of the weekend. And
Bo Nix had 4 picks.
And Aaron Rodgers was down there with a 54. And again, what goes into the pot of grading, we don't have time to go into the detail of what they use, but it's a lot of metrics and an algorithm. Sure. But that just tells you Aaron Rodgers didn't play a great game, but they won because he made timely throws that Baker Mayfield graded down in the bottom 10. Because if you were talking about the throw Caleb Williams missed, Baker Mayfield missed one in the Tampa Bay game that was a wide open touchdown that would have been 80 yards to Cade Otton, his tight end, and he just missed it. He just missed the throw. And the same kind of thing, footwork issue, but Baker Mayfield also made money throws to Emeka Egbuka.
He did.
And 3 touchdown passes. Good. And so he didn't play a great overall game, but he made the throws. That's what Aaron Rodgers did. And I go to a guy like C.J. Stroud, who graded out 14th with an 80, essentially, or 75. But he just didn't make the big throws in the big moments like Matt Stafford did. He moved his team. They just had to settle for 3 field goals, and they didn't get Nico Collins involved, and that's frustrating. But it wasn't like C.J. Stroud played a terrible game.
Right.
The Rams only scored twice. They scored 3 times, but Houston settled for field goals. on their drives where they moved the football, and Matt Stafford graded out number 1. And that dude's unbelievable.
Old man Staff.
And every time they needed something, Puka Nacua made a play. That guy was unbelievable in that game. And Houston didn't have anybody else step up to make a play. And that's football, man. And that was on display last night. Now, I don't have we don't have the Monday night analytics by the quarterbacks last night, but J.J. McCarthy, safe to say, had a horrible grade for 3 quarters and then got an A+.
Yeah.
For what he did in the fourth quarter. And Caleb Williams had an A for the first quarter, but probably a bad grade for the rest of the way.
The offense can do anything.
Yeah. So that's what stands out. The Jalen Hurts-Dak thing, those are going to be head-to-head again this year. Highest graded matchup of week 1. Justin Herbert, Josh Allen were elite in primetime games. But of note, 4 of the top 10 highest graded lost, 4 of the bottom 10 won. And that's odd to me. And by the way, the others that played poorly as far as the grade and won were Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence, and Kyler Murray were both down in the bottom 10. And it's safe to say the worst weekends at quarterback were Cam Ward, Tua, Bo Nix, Russell Wilson.
Tough ass for Cam Ward game 1 to go on the road and play against that defense. But Bo Nix had a bad day.
Real bad day. He was dead ass last.
Yeah,
in these grades I'm looking at right here. He was last. And we've talked about, does Bo Nix take a step forward or does he progress backwards?
There is some talented players on that Tennessee team, but they guys, that's sophomore slump could be a real thing for Bo Nix if they don't figure that out. Again, it's 1 game, but that was bad.
It was bad. It's small. Let's also say this on this days of our quarterback lives. Quarterbacks can have bad days. It's a very, very small sample size, and it's something we'll carry over into Horns That Have Fast. What Texas has put on the field so far is a very small sample size. It's 2 chapters of a 12-chapter book.
Right.
So be careful overreacting or snap judgments of this is what they are, kind of putting the final exclamation point on something. But again, I think what we can take from this is Dak Prescott's off to a great start. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles are going to be a problem, and now they just traded for Tank Bigsby to give them a backup running back behind Saquon Barkley because the only guy they had there was Will Shipley. And I'll say this for Houston Texans fans. If you didn't have bad luck, you'd have no luck. I mean, this team needed everybody to be healthy on their offense.
Yeah.
To have the improvement, and here we are after week 1. C.J. Stroud was, adequate in his first game, but you already were there without Christian Kirk, who's supposed to be your wide receiver 2.
Right.
And people didn't talk about that enough. They acquired him to be the guy opposite Nico Collins to replace Stephon Diggs, who's in New England now. And they drafted 2 young receivers, and hopefully as the year goes. But week 1, you weren't expecting those guys to be impactful. You wanted Christian Kirk, a 7-year veteran, to be your guy. All of a sudden, he pulls his hamstring the week of practice, the week of game week. You also lost your left guard somehow to an injury the week of practice leading up to the first game. And then in the first game, your center gets hurt, and he's out.
Yeah.
And we know Joe Mixon wasn't going to play. So you tell me Houston is going to start the year with a new offensive coordinator and a new scheme, and 4 of their 11 starters are already out? Mm-hmm. That's a problem. That's a major problem. If you're going to show improvement, you needed Joe Mixon and Christian Kirk and a full, healthy offensive line. Because what Houston did is when they lost their left guard, they shuffled completely, and they had communication issues again on Sunday against a very good, Rams front. And so concern for sure, because I'm optimistic about the Texans, but if you tell me you're going to have 4 or 5 starters already out on that offense, that's a problem. It'd be a problem for any team we're talking about.
No doubt.
But let's not put that in, because Kate Stover got hurt too. He's your backup tight end who a lot of people thought might take Dalton Schultz's job this year as he emerges in year 2. Now he's got a broken foot.
Yes.
And again, that's bad luck, man.
It is.
How does Christian Kirk get hurt? Nobody played in the preseason. And he pulls a hamstring like running. Drives you crazy. And by the way, Christian Kirk, before the injury, had a great preseason. Yeah, he was the guy they were looking for to replace Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell's hurt, so he was going to take some pressure off Nico Collins. So you saw in week 1, they just focused on Nico Collins, and there wasn't anybody else that really worried him, and that led to 3 field goals. So that's my analysis of week 1. Those are the quarterbacks that balled out according to the grades. We'll take your thoughts.
I want to ask this, too. Dak Prescott balled out. He's playing against Danger Russ and Russell Wilson. Where do we get Russell Wilson?
We'll get into that in our E-Blast next hour, because we're going Horns That Have Pass coming next, and some Noah Knows. But yeah, the Cowboys got great news yesterday. Russell Wilson's staying. I thought the Cowboys might see Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
And look, it wouldn't be dumb of Brian Daboll to say Russell Wilson all week and then start Jackson Dart.
Right.
And I'm sure the Cowboys are at least thinking that this guy, because I can watch the tape, that guy was as
dangerous. Sucks.
As good as Dak Prescott was on Thursday night is as bad as Russell Wilson was.
Terrible.
I mean, bad.
He's butt.
He's not good. But again,
he hasn't been good in years.
I've seen this in Denver. I've seen this in Pittsburgh.
Third time's not a charm.
I saw this at the end of Seattle. I mean, how many times do I have to see this to know exactly what Russell Wilson is now? This is not like talk about small sample size. This is a large sample size of Russell Wilson and what he is. We'll see.
At a plethora of places, too.
Oh, yeah. 4 different spots now.